Hi, this is Drinking Nanelli. This is our August update, August 2021. That means that by the time this comes out to everyone, I'll be 64 years of age.
Happy birthday.
And I'm not retiring. I can't tell you how many times I tell people I'm not retiring, but a client says, "Oh, you're down in Florida? Are you retiring?" I'm like, I'm not retiring.
You're getting a couple extra rounds of golf in.
I do play golf, but I usually only play golf on Saturday. That's it. I play golf maybe once a week, and so forth. So anyway, so this August coming up, the market has kind of flatlined for a little. It's been jerking around. That's what markets do.
Yeah.
This is how they operate.
But so far in the year, it's had a good run up.
It has had a good run up so far. I expect that it's the doldrums of summer are coming, and that you could see some volatility for a while. But, you look at some of these earnings statements that are coming out from these big companies who everybody is saying that they're way overvalued. They're way overvalued. Well, Apple and Google and Amazon and even Tesla continue to prove that they're dynamic companies and that they're making a good bit of money. And that's what the market is saying. The market is saying, wow, these guys are still powering forward, with what their earnings potential. So, you've got some other stats that you like to talk about.
Well, I think we were talking the other day about when the advisors all get together, one of the things we share with each other is what questions are you getting from clients? And obviously a lot of clients are calling in wanting to talk about inflation because inflation is in the news. And it's true. We've got, reasonably high inflation for what we're used to for this year. I think it's at, was it 5.9?
About 5, which is a good thing because soon Social Security increase is going to be announced.
Right.
And they're going to use that number. So a lot of people's Social Security checks going to get a good little bounce
this year. Bounce out of that. So, I think they're expecting it to be 5.9 by the end of the year. But, one of the things to look at is historical inflation. What have we had in the past if we have a big year this year? Well, I think last year it was 0.08.
Something like that. Your average over the last 10 years has probably been about 1.25, something like that, something of that sort.
Right.
So it's not been a lot, and you have one good year, and a lot of it is related to this pandemic thing and people not at work, not producing
supply
goods,
chain shortages,
shortages, and so forth. But as that starts to loosen up, you're seeing prices start coming back down again.
Well, and in addition to supply, demand has been extra high. The consumer confidence index hit 129.1, which is the highest it's been since February of 2020 before the pandemic. So there's a lot of demand out there for goods. There's unemployment has, it's still coming down. It's at 5.9. The last couple months, it seems to not be dropping as much as it did before. But just as a reminder, unemployment in the past was about 3.5 on average. So, always good to put these things in context because the news definitely doesn't do that for you.
Yeah, we should see that continue to come down. Again, we're not overtly concerned about inflation or that there's a new inflationary trend coming. It's short-lived. People last year hoarded money. They didn't spend like they were. Now all of a sudden they're spending like crazy, and the supply chain has been hurt. And that's changing. And it's changing rapidly. You've even seen lumber prices starting to come back down again. So
not far enough yet.
Well, the one beauty of companies is that when prices go up, they go up real quick. And when things start coming back down, companies try to hold on to their pricing power as long as they can, if they can. And that's what you're seeing happening right now. So all in all, I think markets are about the same. We're not too concerned. We think that you'll see some good things long term. China has had some problems lately, China and Hong Kong, because they're starting to show their whatever you want to call it, their authoritarian regime is not liking the free market as much as they seemed like.
At least as much as they were before.
But they will learn that if they want to continue to evolve into the power that they say, they're going to have to let the free market continue to do what it's doing. So I think you'll see a reversal of their authoritarian actions that they've caused their markets to come down some right now. But anyway.
Well, before we go into planning topics, I'll throw one more of my economic indicators in that I like, which is my favorite is always the gross domestic product, and looking at that over time, how it's doing. And so far this year, gross domestic product is up about 6.4%. When we go to look at a full year, a good year is generally in the 9% range. So we'll see what the rest of the year brings, but at least we're on track to see a reasonable amount of growth in the economy.
Right. So the planning topic, well, first one, let's just talk about the IRS. What a mess. What a mess. And states aren't much better. So, got a lot of clients that have called with problems, and trying to resolve problems right now with the IRS is almost impossible. And the mistakes that they're making, normally you didn't find mistakes from them. Normally they were relatively good, but I'm spending more time trying to figure out how to get in touch with them and how to tell them, no, this isn't the issue. No, my client doesn't owe you more money. Please, correct this.
Well, we've had them give money to clients and go, no, that was a tax payment. You need to keep that. It's
and then all the stimulus money they sent out, and trying to figure out what clients actually got what stimulus and what clients didn't, and going to use their portals. Like clients are getting these child tax credit checks in the mail. It's coming monthly, and clients that don't even need it or want it, they're making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, and they're getting checks in the mail for $100 or $200
or $300
or $300 a month. And there's a portal where you can go on and say, no, I don't want you to keep the money, please. I'll get it on my tax return at the end of the year. And you can't do it. It's just not that easy. We had a client spend 2 hours trying to get the portal to work to say, no, don't send me the money.
Yeah.
So anyway, the IRS is a problem. I don't have a solution, but if you get anything from the IRS, do not try to deal with it yourself. Call us immediately. And I do have ways that I can fix things. It just takes a little longer than it used to, but it's much more efficient than you trying to fix it. So call us as soon as possible.
Absolutely. So it is August, and the children will be going back to school, hopefully.
Yeah, in person, hopefully. We don't know yet right now.
In some form or another.
They're acting, but still, you got to pay for it,
You know what really gets me going?
What?
When parents that live in states that get 529 deductions pay for private school for kids without going through a 529.
Yeah, so what Mike is talking about, that if you live in Pennsylvania or you live in Maryland, just two states that we know really well because a lot of our clients are Pennsylvania and Maryland.
Where they start there.
Pennsylvania, you can get, if you got a kid going to a private school, K through 12, and it's costing $30,000 a year, you could put 10 each year into a 529 plan of any state in the country and get a $10,000 deduction per child per year.
Right. Now, in most states, you have to put it in that state's contribution.
Pennsylvania is unique. Maryland, you can put in $5,000 per year and get a $5,000 deduction per child per year, but you have to use the Maryland 529.
But even if you put more in than that, you'll still get the deduction eventually.
That is correct, but for K through 12, you can only take 10 back out per year. So if the kid's college is costing more than 5, you could put in up to 10 and take 10 back out and still have a deduction for 2 years for $5,000. You're only going to get one $5,000 this year, but the 10 you put in, you'll get 2 deductions. Look, if you've got kids and you're paying private college anywhere in the country,
high school
or
elementary,
K through 12, or college, anywhere in the country, call your consulate advisor and find out if there's a strategy that you can implement to get a nice tax deduction, or some states give you cash.
Yeah, some states.
Maryland will give you some cash.
Maryland and a couple other states, if you have a lower income, you may be able to get a state contribution.
And their idea of lower income is all over the board. When they say lower income, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that.
Maryland, for a joint couple, the highest is $175K to get anything, but you're not getting too much at that.
Yeah, but still, that's not necessarily low income, but you're still getting something. Now, if you take the contribution, though, you don't get the deduction.
Correct.
So you got to choose between the deduction or the cash from the state. There's some people the cash is going to work out.
I think your advice from before sticks with this one. Call your consulate advisor and figure out what strategy works for you.
And that's the whole purpose of doing this pulse is we want to educate you. And if you can do it, great. But a lot of it is just to say, contact us. These are things that you may not even realize that we can help you with. So,
Absolutely.
And then lastly, you got student loan. Student loan, $10,000 once in a lifetime can be paid off with a 529 plan. So we had grandparents who wanted to pay off we had parents who wanted to pay off some of the student debt their children had. So they put $10,000 into a 529 plan for the children and then paid off $10,000 of each of their student loans, which is they're only allowed once in a lifetime, and they got a $15,000 deduction per year for 2 years for doing that. I mean, it's a great strategy. So if you want to help your children pay off some student debt, if you've got a kid K through 12, if you got a child going to college or even graduate school, right?
Right.
And you want to help them and you want to contribute or you are contributing, let us know. There's a good way to do it and get yourself some money back from state taxes.
Right.
I think we're finished.
I think we're good for today.
Anyway, this is Drew Tignanelli saying God bless.